When we test the mics, everybody up on the stage, real quick.
Test. One.
Okay. You want to hear what they have to say, what I have to say anyway, but make sure their mics are good. Good evening, I'm your moderator this evening. I'm John Ingram, Mayor City of Springboro. I'd like to welcome you to the Community Forum for School Board Candidates, which is hosted by the Springboro Education Association. The Springboro Education Association would like to thank all the candidates for participating tonight. Before we start the forum, there are a few ground rules I'd like to go over. Please turn off your cell phones, beepers, or anything that would make a noise, please. All candidates will have 3 minutes to make an opening statement. Questions will be solicited from the audience. We have a box here. If you've got some questions, please put it in the box. He'll be going around. If you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand and receive an index card. Only residents or employees of Springboro Community Schools may ask questions. Please fill out your question and return it. Questions will be screened for duplicates. Questions to single out a particular candidate will not be permitted. Responses will be alternated, so not the same person has to be on the hook each time. Once questions have been submitted, I will choose questions out of the basket. Each candidate will have the opportunity to answer the question selected. Will have 2 minutes to do so. At the end of the forum, each candidate will have 2 minutes to make a closing statement. The timekeeper will strike a bell when each candidate's time is up. If you're in the middle of a sentence and she rings the bell, finish your sentence, so they at least get to me in the audience. So I'm not going to cut you off, but finish the sentence. Don't go into another sentence, please. This is your evening as well as their evening. You want to get something out of this debate, so I want to make sure that we control it. Obviously, you gave up your valuable time to be here, so applauding is okay, within reason. But we're Springboro, we don't need a bunch of booze, because on November 8th, you're going to make a very, very important decision about your candidates. So all that does is slow the process down and take away time from getting to know your candidates. Without further ado, let's get started.
Any further questions, last minute questions that we'll try to get in the box?
I will be referring to the candidates as Mr. or Miss instead of using your first name, so make it a little quicker. The way we got to figure, there'll probably be 5 questions. If we don't have a lot of long responses, we may get 6 questions. With everyone participating, we're going to try to get the 5 most important questions we can find that you have given us this evening. If we have time for a 6th question, we will get to that. While you're doing it, I'll give you one, we'll get started.
Or you want to do the introductions. Go ahead and do the introductions for 3 minutes.
All right, if I say your name, if you just give a high sign wave, or if you'd like to stand up, that would be fine. Okay. All right, we have the 6 candidates running for the school board. We have Mr. Petroni, Mr. Cruzy, Mr. Gregg, Ms. Babb, Ms. Ellis, Mr. Regano. Okay, thank you very much for being here this evening.
They can go ahead and do their opening statement.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do the opening statements then. Ms. Gregg, if you start, I can start off, I appreciate it. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, and thank you to the SEA for having this forum, and also to all of you who are here to hear what we have to say. I appreciate your time and consideration. My name is Jane Gregg, and I would like to serve on the Springboro School Board. I've been a resident of Springboro for 37 years and worked in this community as a teacher and an administrator for 27 years. I have 2 daughters who have graduated from Springboro, and presently have a granddaughter who is in the 5th grade at Dennis Elementary. I have a PhD in Educational Administration, a Master's in Teacher Leadership, and a BS in Elementary Education. As a teacher, I have taught 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th and 8th grade math, reading, and English. I have served on numerous committees for Springboro schools, written grants for funding, teaching math and the history of Springboro, and I've negotiated 4 times. As an administrator for 3 years at the junior high, I oversaw 800 students and 50 staff members. Presently, I am teaching social cultural studies for Miami University of Ohio. As a community member, I have served as a volunteer for Heal Foundation, Warren County Humane Association, Adrian Hospital, Springboro Historical Society, Springboro School Financial Advisory Team, North Central High School Accreditation Committee, and Springboro Schools. Because I've lived here for the 37 years, I have a real heart for this community, for the children in this community, and the people of this community. And I would definitely be honored to receive your support. Thank you.
Mr. Petroni.
Thank you. My name is David Petroni. When I speak to members of the community, in almost every instance, they know Springboro schools were in a financial mess. When I tell them the $25 million deficit that caused the need for a levy vanished, their expressions in almost every instance is one of confusion and disbelief. The conversation gets even better when you tell them after 5 failed levies, the district is returning services, hiring teachers, not cutting any teachers' salaries, giving incentive bonuses, planning to invest in new technology and textbooks, and cutting fees. No one understands how in 6 months the district can turn a $25 million deficit into a $6 million surplus. I explained this began when Jim Regano and I presented 12 ways to change forecast assumptions that save over $30 million and eliminate the need for a levy without cutting services, reducing teachers, or cutting teachers' base salary. After the school implemented most of these and a few other measures, the deficit was gone. Because of our efforts, we've shown the district and community it is possible to operate without the need for a continuous stream of new taxes. I pledge to work closely with the board, if elected, with the administration, faculty, and parents to continue that momentum. For the last 7 years, I've served the Settlers Walk Homeowners Association's 4,000 residents as president, treasurer, and board member. When I was elected by the homeowners to the board, Settlers Walk was not operating with a balanced budget. By diligently managing expenses, today the association will end the year with a surplus in its cash reserves, and we did that without increasing fees or cutting services. I will bring this same philosophy and fiscal management to the Springboro School Board. But Jim Regano and I worked hard, and we developed and promoted the Children's First budget. Since children are our first priority, this plan invests in educational support services for children first. Let me be clear. My priorities have been and will continue to be on maintaining reasonable class sizes, educational materials, technology, and essential services. As chairman of Educate Springboro, I did recommend steps to balance the budget, and I have been to Columbus to help. I am running for Springboro School Board because now is the time to put children first, rebuild confidence in our district, and control spending by presenting accurate forecasts and assumptions that both the community and the teachers can understand. In July of last year, I spoke to the board about my budget analysis and belief that a levy was not needed at that time. Today, the district budget is balanced without a levy, just as I knew it could be. I'll work to restore lost confidence in our schools, and I will always put our children first by ensuring Springboro schools are offering the best education possible, even if it means returning to Columbus to continue to fight for local control and other changes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Babb.
Hi, my name is Lisa Babb, and I'd like to share with you a little bit about why I'm running and what I feel like I would bring to the board. A little bit about me is my husband and I have lived in Springboro for 10 years, and we have 3 boys that are all in the Springboro School District. They're in the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th grade. My background is as an educator. My undergrad is in elementary education. My master's is in special education. And I taught in a public school setting for 7 years, and when we decided to start a family, I stayed home for 10 years while the boys were at a younger age. And then I went on and taught at an online charter school simply because it gave me flexibility to remain very involved with my kids' schooling while at the same time participating as a teacher in an online classroom. I also am an adjunct professor at Cedarville University. It was while my youngest son was in kindergarten that I was at the bus stop one day, and I heard parents talking about this change that the board was possibly going to be voting in about an altered schedule mid-year for our kindergartners. And I was very concerned with the educational implications that would have on the kindergartners. So I went to a board meeting with about 200 other parents that were equally concerned, and we voiced our displeasure. And after that, one of the board members got up and he said, you all are out here right now because you're upset about something that's affecting your children. But where are you going to be next month when there's other decisions that are affecting other kids? You're not going to be here. Though it really ticked me off at first, it put a fire under me, and I decided, you know what, I am going to be there. I am going to be an involved parent. And at that point, I started attending board meetings very consistently for the last 2.5 to 3 years. I've asked a lot of questions. I've dug deep to get some answers. And I have seen the board, the administration, the community come together, though there was a levy needed at times because we were not at a financial stable point. I saw them come together and through negotiations, through changes within the district's finances, come together and take what was where we did have a deficit and bring it to where we do have a little bit now. But it was simply because of changes, what I see as we're coming down from Columbus, where everyone realized everybody needs to sacrifice. It needs to be the community, it needs to be the school, it needs to be parents, it needs to be teachers, everybody needs to compromise. And those are the things that I'm passionate about. I'm excited to possibly be part of a board that is making these important decisions because I feel like it's going to directly affect our community. If our schools do not remain strong, then we're going to have a negative impact on our community and this community that we so believe in and we know, we love Springboro. That's what has brought us all here and that's why we're not moving. We're not going to walk away from the challenges. Instead, we're going to face them head on through transparent communication and I'm excited to possibly be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ellis.
Hi, I'm Vintry Ellis. I grew up in a blue-collar, working-class family. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. I believe it changed my life much better, and I am a product of public education from kindergarten all the way through graduate school. I had my first job at the age of 10. It was a paper route, and I've worked hard all of my life. Things have not been handed to me. In college, there were times where I sometimes worked 3 jobs to make ends meet, but I valued my education and I did it. I'm the kind of person who does not sit back and complain. I like to be part of the solution. When there was an opening on the board last year, I had the courage to step up and take the challenge. The board members voted unanimously for me to join the team. Prior to me joining, the board had a reputation for being divided. Since I have joined it, I vowed we'd work together as a team because I knew that by working together, it was the only way we were going to get things accomplished. We have operated that way since I have been appointed, and although we don't always agree, we have been able to get a lot accomplished in this last year, and I'm really proud of that. I'd like to continue this hard work, and I would like the opportunity to serve on this board longer. It would be a privilege. People who know me think of me as a creative, think outside the box kind of person, but people who know me also know how persistent I am. I'm incredibly resilient. I don't give up on what I believe in. If you want an advocate who believes in strong public education and has experience, I would appreciate your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Regano.